You are listening to the IAMKAYPEE podcast.
We're on actually, so welcome to Stephen and Rory. Thanks for coming on, guys.
Hey man,
How's things? Don't just ignore me again this time.
I'm not going to do that, man.
Did he tell you about that?
Yeah.
Him and Robert came on and they were just like saying nothing for the first minute, and I thought, I'm so boring or something. I was really super like bummed about it.
Oh, to be honest, like we got way too wasted for that podcast, and I was feeling really guilty about it. I was just like, that was just because me and Bob were just drunk as fuck, just chatting absolute dog shit. I felt really guilty about it.
Kathy's over here.
But then, is it really that different from normal?
No, it was fine.
Not.
Yeah, it was just I was a bit disappointed. Like I was like, oh, I've got so much planned for this podcast, and you guys are just like Robert and me.
Yeah, it was messy. It was messy.
Yeah, it was a good podcast.
It was awesome fun though.
Did you get down here okay? And
Yeah.
you're super. Was it
it's
new
fun.
car? You've got
Yeah,
new wheels. What is it?
oh
A
my
Bugatti
God.
Veyron? Is that?
It's a Skoda Roomster. It's like two different cars stuck together. It's the ugliest thing ever.
That's pretty dodgy. You should probably. Was it Pikey's that welded it together?
I actually bought it from some travelers.
Of course, it's two cars
Yeah.
welded together.
No, it's meant to. Well, who knows? It'll just be like me, a bit of a checkered past.
You can't say that anymore, though. Gypsies.
No.
Pikeys especially. That's very derogatory.
You just have like,
bad, yeah.
you just don't give a fuck. You just say anything you feel like. I totally shit my pants. I'm like, can't say this, can't say that.
Are you
can't
saying
say
I
that.
do? Like,
Yeah, you just go for it. You just.
I used to. I'm a bit more wary of it now.
No, you're not.
Have you changed your language at all? Like
Yeah.
with recent sort of.
Yeah, I think you
Things-
have to be really aware of it nowadays.
I've not heard you say the word cunt recently.
Save that one. I say that one for special occasions.
For me.
It's only on the mat. It calls them cunts.
Yeah.
So, what have you been up to, Dan?
Just building PCs, snapping necks, cashing checks, all that nonsense.
That's a fancy ass PC.
I know it's fucking, it's beautiful. It's just ironing out all the kinks though, and I've been trying to get the studio, quote unquote, if people can see me, which they can't. Yeah, I'm trying to get everything sorted. I just made a PC and painted the background black. That's all I've done, really.
Can be easy though, making a PC.
Yeah, but that's
easy as shit, man.
That's one more PC than I've fucking made.
Like maybe 15 years ago, 20 years ago, it'd be harder to build a PC, but now there's so much information out there. There's websites dedicated to like showing you if each component's compatible with the other.
Right, okay.
So when you make a list of all your parts, it's called PC part picker, and then you just put in all your components individually, and then they all slot together, but they'll tell you if they are not compatible, so you know exactly
Yeah.
what's...
See, it's the power thing that would kind of fuck me up. I'm not really good with the whole electronics. Like the what voltages and all that kind of shit.
I'm not, I think I'm not dared to sort of go into the voltage side of it because it's like overclocking. Have you heard of that? It's
Aye.
weird. Like
Yeah.
it's all part of the PC world that I didn't know was like just standard. People overclock their stuff. So you basically just change the voltages and on your CPU, but it's like, I think it ruins the warranty or something like that. So
right.
if you're overclocked it and it's fucked, you're not going to get your money back. It's like your face. Like if you overclock it,
It's fucking well past time, man. No, you totally just lost me. Like, so that's the one thing I've always sucked at is like, you know, that volts, wattage, ohmage
Yeah.
shit. Like it's just over my head.
Yeah.
Like, so I think it's basically just saying like, if it runs too much power, that's all the way I can make sense
yeah,
of
if you're
that
drawing
shit.
too much. And there's something called like a silicon lottery. So it's basically with your CPU, it comes down to the silicon and how it was made, and that's completely random. So then you can decide how much you can actually overclock it, and you can get more power out of it. So it's just down to how it was made. Like
So is that thing specifically for the podcast?
and video editing and gaming.
And gaming.
I got a beast of a fucking GPU. Like
And what,
it cost
what
as,
games
as
do you actually
much
play?
as just the other parts of
Aye.
it. It's like 700 quid for just the video card and that. Yeah, and that's cheap.
Fuck.
Yeah.
What games are you playing?
Rust. I played Rust.
I don't play games that much, man.
Well, you're making me feel like a fucking...
Man,
I used to be mad for them, but no.
do you know
You were like 13.
Do you know the last game system I owned was a Sega Mega Drive? No shit. It was actually a Mega Drive 2. I'm not sure what the differences were between the Mega Drive and the Mega Drive 2, but I would imagine it was plastic.
I think the first one was 16-bit. I think the second one was 32. I think. I'm sure. The Sega Mega Drive was fucking awesome.
You're certainly not broadcasting any fucking podcasts or editing videos on a Sega Mega Drive.
I don't think you can do anything on a Sega Mega Drive.
Does Sega make a computer nowadays?
Did you play that one, the Sega Mega Drive?
Yeah, I had a Mega Drive. I didn't have the Nintendo stuff. I had the Sega stuff, I think.
Yeah, Nintendo was a bit
my
too.
mate had a Master System as well.
That was the first one.
That was the
Was it?
first one.
Yeah, I had a
Yeah.
Master System.
Yeah.
And then I went to the Mega Drive and it was just like, this is unbelievable, the difference. But like, there was games called Aladdin. Remember Aladdin on there?
Yeah, I remember
was
that
brilliant.
one. The Toy Story one. Or was
Yeah.
that PlayStation?
No, it was a Toy... No, actually, it might have been before. Okay. What did you play on your old man
Just
computer?
reminiscing, you know. So my first ever computer was donated to me, and it was called a Commodore VIC 20. I just remember that.
Is that when you plug the...
It was cassettes.
Okay. Was it you plugged the keyboard into a TV? Is that what it was?
I couldn't even remember that.
So you put cassettes
You'd have
in the
to-
side of your computer?
Google it.
It went into a tape.
I ate the cassettes.
Yeah, it was like a tape deck.
Right, okay.
Yeah, we got given one by like a family that was going to chuck it out.
The 80s where people just gave you computers because they're like, fuck, waiting on this tape to fucking load.
Basically, you just hung around skips waiting for people to throw them out.
That was not computer related. That was just everything else.
I mean, you two both grew up in Perth, eh? So like,
We just figured out there's actually 10 years of difference between us.
right, okay.
So,
So you've got like that
yeah, I'm just
span.
about to turn 40.
No way, Rory.
Yeah, man.
You're going to be 40.
Yeah, I turned 40 this year.
You're making me feel super old now as well.
But you're younger than me, so just dry
I
your
always
eyes.
will be.
Daunted. Nah, you've got nothing to worry about. How old are you now?
32.
32. And you're 30.
I'm 30 in December.
Hey, old man
But when you get to 30, it's like you feel like you should be sort of more... I don't know how to explain it. You should be just more... You should be
You-
doing
you
something.
feel like
I mean,
you
you've
should-
got like a business and all that. You got your
Yeah,
you got
but
your
then
jiu-jitsu school.
still, you know, it's like I feel like I should have
A Ferrari.
security.
Yeah,
I don't have security.
it's probably due to Theresa May.
No, you can't blame Theresa May for your own fears and concern. But when I turned... Oh, fuck. Do you ever notice that she's got fair hair like Father Ted? She does.
That's pretty good actually.
wonder how
If
many
Father
ma-
Ted grew his hair out a little bit,
I wonder how many mates she has. That's right.
probably
None.
0.
No. But no, when I turned 30, I was absolutely shitting my pants. It was like the world was going to end. I was devastated about it. It was like, you know, I felt like I hadn't achieved what I should have achieved. I'd lost my youth and all the rest of it. And as I'm sort of zooming towards 40, I don't feel like that coming towards 40. Like it was an ego hit coming towards 30, but I just don't feel like that coming towards 40. I really didn't.
Well, you're going to have to deal with it because you're going to be 40 regardless.
Yeah, but I've got to be honest, like I'm actually coming into 40 in reasonably good chip, you know?
I think 30 hurts a lot of people.
It does.
That's the one where your ego just is like, well, shit, I'm getting old.
And what have I done? Who am I?
I'm in a
As a
fucking Rover. What is it you've got?
fucking Rimster. Bob told me I was having the worst midlife crisis of anyone ever. I was supposed to buy a sports car and shag a 25-year-old. I just got...
You bought a 25-year-old car and shagged a sports star.
Yeah, totally. Well, they got us here.
I was
Why
brilliant,
why
man.
you got one of those? I take it you've got 2 cars now.
I got it because of the logic that... No, I don't have 2 cars. It's just my only car. But what I wanted was a Volkswagen Caddy. I couldn't afford one because it's got a Volkswagen badge. It holds its value. But Skoda Roomsters are possibly one of the ugliest fucking things that's ever went on the road.
I don't think I've even ever seen one before.
Do you know the Homer Simpson car?
Right, okay, the one he builds and it's
Yeah, yeah.
like loads of different components. It's like a 5-year-old designed it.
If you just Google Homer Simpson car. So, but yeah, and that's it. It's just pure logic. It's just how I can put all my bikes and my shite in my life in the back.
How is the uphill biking? No, downhill.
It's good. I fucking recently hurt myself where I dislocated my collarbone at the
Your colon.
yeah
How do you dislocate your colon?
with a drill though.
Dill drone.
Drone. By the way, we had the discussion last time, didn't we? We were talking about porn that hadn't been invented yet.
Yeah,
and-
dill drones.
Yeah.
Have you heard about it?
Oh, we had to talk about that. Like, yeah, he informed me.
Well, I came up with a few more. So,
Who comes as?
stamp collecting porn. Stephen reckons that really exists.
I reckon there's a stamp like licking.
But is it
ASMR.
And then I
like,
just came up with one in the car just before we got here, which was a sort of poppy in the front of a car. So remembrance porn, that does not exist. So
is it like you remember the early days?
I
of
don't
porn?
care. I'm just thinking of types of categories of porn which don't exist. That's my challenge.
You're just thinking up names and not filling out the. You're not fleshing out the rest of it.
I don't want to.
A dill drone. Like, what is the logistics of that? You couldn't even tell me, could you?
I'll show you a
So
photo.
what's the logistics of fucking was it stamp collecting porn?
Pass my phone.
What would you do? Is it people stamp collecting and people get off on it? Or
Yeah, as I said, I'm not interested in adding meat to the bones. So
you're not interested in the details.
I just trying to think of concepts that don't exist to beat, my own, I don't know, twisted brain. It's just about coming up with stuff that doesn't exist. I have this problem that because of overpopulation in the world, I'm just absolute in our place in the universe that we're just so irrelevant. So I often kind of have that fear that nothing really matters and that
You're
But then it does
fucking
really.
nihilist, is that what it is?
Nah, but that gives me the fear. So I often come up with these wee challenges to prove that I do have a bit of creativeness in my body and brain, that I'm not just a random number, that there is some absolute utter shite which is making up categories of things which don't exist just to prove myself that I'm not just a number and I do matter.
Well,
That's mad.
There's no such thing as like
You're nodding at me like
No, I get it. You
Come
know,
on, he's
sometimes you
talking
just
shite.
got to come up with wacky ideas.
yeah.
You
that
feel
is-
alive.
But that is
Yeah.
what people like. The people that make it and have like successful things are not these super intelligent people. They're just people that are not stupid enough to not follow their idea. If you know what I'm saying, like they're so stupid they'll just do it.
Yeah.
That's what you find with a lot of these people. It's just like, oh, I have this idea, I'm going to start whatever. Not you. I'm not taking you as an example. You're a very intelligent guy, obviously.
Thank you.
Those are the type of people that do these things, and people who are intelligent overthink things, and they'll end up stopping themselves from doing a lot of stuff.
For example, for a while there was a shop in Perth that was a Christmas shop all year round.
Can I just say that shop, there's a Christmas shop that started out in Crieff and they had to move to much, much bigger premises and they operate all year round and it's a fucking huge business.
Yeah.
And it is like,
What wankers it must be to run a Christmas shop all year round.
I fucking hate Christmas.
You
Try
Doesn't it-
pitching that to somebody that you need to like
On
kind
the
of finance
Dragon's
it.
Den. Going on there. Wait, listen to this. Christmas all year round. And you go to a store to experience this.
Right, this is my Easter egg all year round shop. What is it?
Fuck the summer holidays. Fuck Easter. Fucking, what is it, Halloween? It's Christmas every day.
Christmas stresses me out on this basis that we fucking make children believe in this imaginary fat man who's based loosely on St. Nicholas, who therefore is directly linked or affiliated with Jesus. I was going to say Jeepus there.
There's
Who-
pagan stuff behind it as
and
well.
then there's total pagan
Yeah.
stuff with the red and white and all the rest of it, or
Mushrooms.
Coca-Cola. But then also, so we make kids believe that this fat man delivers them gifts and he's affiliated with the other possibly or not possibly, depending on where your stance is, make-believe fucking God. But actually, it's just us cunts buying Obdi presents. Why can't we just be like, I fucking love you, I bought you a present because I like you?
But because there's so many insecure people in the world that it's not going to fly. Like if you said to, your if I said to someone, a girlfriend in the past or something, no, I've not bought you something because, I love you and it's Christmas, so let's just get on with that. They'll be like, what the fuck?
Oh, hell no.
They don't like me. That's how you'd feel because
How
it's
many times did that happen in your lifetime?
every single Christmas probably. And it's not because That's what I was happy with. It's
You've made it
because
through.
I didn't like them.
You've made it through a Christmas with Laura,
Yeah, that's
or a
true,
few
yeah.
Christmases.
But we're on a similar sort of like mindset when it comes to these things. Like I will get her a present, but it's not because it's Christmas. Like we do things around Christmas. Same with Valentine's Day. It's just fucking capitalism at its
that's
finest.
nonsense.
You
That's
know,
fucking
like
nonsense.
a day where you
Does
tell
it-
everyone.
Valentine's Day sits
Sucks.
between Christmas and Easter, doesn't it?
It's
So it's like
bollocks. It's
stimulate
just-
the economy
It's
day.
just money to make money for companies. That's all it is.
Yeah.
And everyone falls into it because you feel like you
No,
have
but
to.
you love your partner extra on that specific day when you've bought her rakes of shit. Oh, I just love you so much. Yeah.
But it's not, it just doesn't do anything for me that. Like I'm a bit of a contrarian as well. So like if somebody tells me that I have to like do that on
something,
a
you're
day.
like, oh,
it's
fuck
like,
no.
fuck you, I'm not doing it.
Nah.
I'm so bad. I'm so bad at buying presents as well. Like I would rather like naturally, like if I just seen if I came across something that I thought somebody would like, I could just buy it for them. Whereas at Christmas, you're forced to think,
Yeah.
and you end up like I've been with my girlfriend for like a while, like 6 years.
Don't put yourself in that trap where you've got to remember, man. Just be like, I love you. I've been with you for ages.
Yeah, I think it's 6.
It feels like 3 years. But
yeah,
it's been about
it's been a long time.
How long have you been married for?
You know, you're talking 6 birthdays, 6 Christmases. Like you start to run out of like
Yeah.
individual gifts for somebody.
Yeah, it's
What
like
about a list of types of porn which don't exist?
You're my man
Dildrons.
for that one.
Buy
Give
her
me
a
a shout.
Dildron. Just really badly scribbled on the box.
Yeah. Could you Google that, Dan?
What, Dildron?
Yeah, please.
I don't know if I want to.
I'm sure somebody tried to fly one into Donald Trump or somebody from the Trump administration.
A Dil... Yeah, so you're fucking Dildron.
He's actually doing this.
Dildron porn. I'll see what that comes up with.
No.
Dildron porn GIF comes up on Pornhub. Welcome to the world of... Okay, I better turn this. Oh my god. It's real.
Oh, it is.
Wow, that was a good catch.
Oh, Stephen just caught a cafetiere.
Is that a
Male
cafetiere
jiu-jitsu
sitting on the-
skills.
It's a real Dildron.
I can't see it. So
That is real.
That is.
you're gonna fly
It's,
into her.
That's exactly what I thought it was going to be. So
Yeah.
for
Oh my
anyone
God,
who...
yeah.
it's just a
Doing
loop of a
this.
clip of them pretending to do it. Like, it's not actually.
It's like a hole in one. It's a birdie or a drone. Or
The propellers could just give you a haircut at the same time.
keep you cool. It's like, it's like a little fan.
the loop's got caught in the blades. Oh no.
So yeah, just kind of moving on to some stuff that's been going on this week actually. So yesterday Conor McGregor announced his retirement. Did you see this?
Doesn't
Like
convince
just
me. Like,
unexpectedly, it was like on Twitter with no like build up, no last fight, nothing. It was just see ya, I'm out, I'm busy.
This is the second time he's done that, though. Eh?
Can I also say that, right? See if he
He's
was.
Conor McGregor.
See, I've got a roomster. I draw my pension. And if that guy was in Shooters, or if that guy was in your club, would you actually hang about with him? Does he not strike you as, fair enough, right? There is the media storm that he creates before every fight, but is there not just a point where you're like, Conor McGregor, you're actually just not a sound dude?
Well, I
Bit of a
think
dick.
it's hard because you've been with someone their whole. It's like training with your coach for all your life. Like when you were poor, and then you're around the same age as well. Like I think Conor's coach is not that old. I think he's like 30.
Yeah, late 30s.
30. He's 40. He's really old.
I resemble that remark.
So like they're kind of similar-ish in age, and I feel like they're sort of bonded in a way. Like they're together, and it's hard to just say.
Yeah, but as a person, do you not think he's a complete dick?
Oh yeah, he is. But I don't know him personally. I only know what we perceive from the media. But it's crazy though. Like he's just we don't get a last fight.
I think that's important to say. So what we see is the media image of him, and that's the only way that we see or view that man.
Yeah.
It's not actually who the man is. I guess that's an important point. Is that we just see the hype.
Yeah,
I don't know if he's done.
I think he has. I mean, my view is, and I don't want to see him fight again. I didn't want to see him fight Khabib. I mean, leading up to it, I was like, yeah, I got on the bandwagon. But initially, I was like, he's just not been training all year. You can't maintain this level and not train all year and then go against the best competition.
Kind of what happened to Ronda as well. Eh?
You can't do that. Like the person that would have beat anybody in the world, Conor, the world beater, when he was in the featherweight division and he was on his way up to the title, that guy would have beaten anybody. But after that, when he was just like out for a year training boxing or anything like that, he just got distracted. I think he could have genuinely beat Diaz off the back of, his lead up to the featherweight title, just because that was his whole life at that point. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then he just, after that, it was bullshit.
See, I'm not sure. The last loss, how immune to him is he to the Las Vegas bent money? Did he really lose that?
What, the fight against Khabib?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you genuinely believe that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's got to be a lot of bent money around, that area.
Of course.
And there is everybody has a price,
I think Khabib was the favourite though, was he not?
Yeah, he was the favourite. Like, who would want him to lose?
I don't know. I'm just asking these questions. I just like to throw these things out there.
And I think it was pretty much people thought he was going to lose.
Really?
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of that kind of shit in Japan.
I think there's a lot of that shit in boxing.
There's a lot of shit in Japan that's going on. It's probably where the dildos come from as well.
Yeah.
Seems like they have the technology. Find like a VCR into the side of your head.
The most inadvertent racist comment ever. They have the technology. Everybody's got the technology, man.
But as soon as he retired, there was these allegations again came out that he was had sexually assaulted someone as well.
There's not footage of him with some lassie in the toilets of some place as well.
I think it was his hotel room. He had a picture with this girl and he was grabbing her thigh. And she's the one that says that she's got a baby.
Oh, that's
right.
Baby to it. But then she's not the person that's claiming sexual assault. It's a different person.
I think it's in Dublin or something. The girl that's claiming sexual assault, and the girl that this happened with was in Liverpool or Newcastle.
Imagine having all that money and then hanging about in Liverpool.
Coke's a hell of a drug. The things you do when you're on cocaine.
Well, do you think that's maybe why he's retired? Because
he loves the chick.
Well, he maybe just loves the alternative lifestyle. He's maybe done with clean living and training like fuck and living like a monk.
He's nothing to fight for anymore, I don't think.
How much did he make off the actual boxing bout? Was it $30 million or something?
60, was it? 60 million? I think something like that.
Fucking hell, man.
That's a lot of money. But then, how long does that last when you're?
Well, if you live in Ireland, in rural Ireland, in a mansion, that money will go a long way. But if you live in fucking
he's
LA,
in LA all the time, like
he's
private
got
jets.
other shit going on though. I'm sure he'll come out with a TV show and all this kind of shit as well.
And he's got the Conor McGregor YouTube channel.
Well, the thing he's talking about is
fast as well. He's got his conditioning.
Well, the thing he's talking about is whiskey.
Yeah,
that's why he keeps on talking.
Supposedly,
about
it's fucking terrible as well. Have you tried it?
Oh, whiskey's terrible to me.
I fucking hate whiskey.
Why?
Because my flatmate passed away. This is.
But how does every story start with that?
No, it doesn't. But I
fucking hate
I
Conor
managed
McGregor.
not to consume any whiskey before that point, And then he died in a climbing accident, and then we went up and built a cairn for him, and then his two favourite drinks. I was like, I'm going to drink them. Out of respect. One was a whiskey called Lefroy. I might as well have just licked some dirt. It was like a punch in the pus from Earth.
That's okay. So if you're listening from anywhere else.
Oh yeah, it was like a punch in the face from soil. It was so rank. And that
what was it called?
Lefroy.
Lefroy.
It tastes like peat.
Supposedly, after Scotland entered the EU, all the whiskies are dog shit now. And the Japanese are coming out better with them because they're allowed to do it differently from the Scottish.
Do you know that the Japanese actually came across in the 90s and went around and basically poached people from the distilleries?
I know someone that works in the distilleries that I went to college with, and he's over in Japan all the time, like doing seminars, like whiskey, whatever.
Yeah.
Whiskey seminars.
There's a new fucking whiskey distillery just popped up in about 3 seconds at the back of Bridge of Erne, at the back of Perth. Like, it was there one day, and I was like, what? But that's the thing, it's just jumping on the bandwagon. You have like these old whiskey distilleries which That's what Conor McGregor's doing. He's jumping on that whiskey bandwagon.
Yeah.
Damn right.
I mean, he's Irish. It makes sense, you know, to have a brand like that. But
It's just a brand. I mean,
Yeah.
it doesn't even matter if it tastes like shit. People drink fucking anything.
but it's popular. So
Yeah.
like he's saying, and a lot of people that are in that industry are saying that it's super popular, but it's not that great. It tastes young. Like they've obviously got
rushed it out.
rushed it out off the back of his name. But
I'm not an alcohol guy, so you get all these people who are experts in alcohol.
when you only drink like 10 ints.
I like juice.
You've got a real
I like Robinson's diluting juice.
you're a diluted man.
Well, I like it all, mate. I like, grape juice.
Do you like council juice?
Welch's grape juice if I'm feeling special.
Do you like council juice?
Council juice.
Yeah.
Council juice.
Just water.
It's water. In the tap.
Water. Drink about 3 litres of water a day.
I was at someone's house the other day and they had a filter on their water.
My water in my house is fucking vile.
Yeah, that's because you're a new build.
Nah, it's not. It's to do with the chlorine in the water.
But that's down south generally.
Nah, you come in my house and drink the water. It's fucking vile.
I try not
Honestly,
to.
I'm trying to. Inside my stomach is like a swimming pool. It's just like chlorine fest.
Ugh.
It's bad,
Yeah.
you know. But it's fucking shit.
Yeah, because it's supposed to be when you go down south. That's when it starts to become a
Yeah.
problem. You have to have like filters on your stuff to get lime. Or is it some lime off your?
Yeah.
See, I was many moons ago. I was a vegan, and I know. Sorry, but
You had to
like,
just put it in there and tell everybody.
before I did CrossFit.
You still do CrossFit.
Well, I don't know. If I train. I don't know if it's qualified.
You told me every like couple of weeks you're like, oh, I just finished CrossFit. I did this rad. Was it Kip or whatever?
Yeah, WOD. It's called.
Don't blow your wad out everywhere. There's loads of places like that popping up though over Scotland. Like Perth was
Huge
one of
money maker though, man.
Do you go to the one in Perth ever?
Nah, I've got some members that train with us that go there, and big, like popular, very popular.
What do you think about it in terms of how it applies to other sports?
It's it's super functional. Like the guys that train CrossFit that train with us are proper like fit. It creates athletes. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, I
it does create
I
athletes.
just described one of your guys as a fucking brick wall.
Yeah.
You know, he's a fucking
Yeah.
big mother. No, he's not built like a bodybuilder, but he's just so fucking strong. It's ridiculous.
I think it's in general, it's really good.
It works really well for cycling, you know, in terms of mountain biking, you know, because it's, you know, a lot of it has a basis around mobility as well. You know, it's not like traditional bodybuilding where, you know, that you just it's just that, you know, it's limited. What you're doing is you're training a muscle grouping at a specific movement to grow the muscle.
Yeah.
It's much more, you know, for me, I can do it in the garage, you know, and I can do lots of sort of explosive stuff in my wee garage, and it works really well.
How did you get into that?
What, through the CrossFit stuff?
Yeah.
Because it's really similar to the conditioning we used to do at Shooters.
Right, okay.
It's you know, it's so similar, you know,
Mm-hmm.
like, you know, like, I don't know,
Have you spewed yet?
if I what
Have you spewed?
at CrossFit. Fuck.
You're obviously
probably.
not doing it hard enough then.
Nah, I probably
Rory
have.
notoriously spews every workout.
I used to be like that. Nah,
Spew Lee in the news over here.
I've like Leanne often says to me, like, you know, I'll be in the garage on my turbo trainer, and she'd be like, "You're almost spewing tonight, eh?" Because I'll do sprints on the turbo trainer. I'll be like, but I have headphones on and music, so I can't hear it. So I'm just like absolutely punishing like the push bike, and then like she's upstairs like, "Fucking hell, he's going for it." But like, it's just
Pretty sure
dry
you were always against CrossFit back in the day.
I think back in the day though, it did have a kind of bad reputation. Now it's much more, and I think it's just down to like the individual gyms. Some of them are kind of really professional, and some of them are just doing like stupid shit.
Because it's all Reebok, isn't it? Like, it's supposed to be Reebok.
Reebok.
I don't know enough about it, but the founders or one of the main guys is Dave Castro. Is that right?
Yeah.
Who's that?
He's the main. You have to Google it. You've got a computer in front of you, man.
No, I'm not Googling anything.
Have you seen the documentaries of the competitions?
I've seen a couple of them. It was a couple of years ago, the first one I saw, so I'm not seen
Pretty
anything
good.
since.
Like
Yeah, they're
it
cool.
gives you a good kind of. It is a like a real sport. Like, and it's amazing how, because CrossFit's so varied, that Dave Castro will will drop the workout like the morning of competition, so like you don't even know what you're training
But
for.
a few years ago, he did drop the workout with cornrows, and he is a very white guy.
Can you pull that off?
I probably would have pulled off his head. No, but I don't know. It's
Cornrows.
like, so the competitions have been quite weird the last few years because they've had them cycling. So you've got these absolute gorillas, and of course, what they do is they buy in like they get 200 bikes, which are all identical,
Right.
and they make them do this bizarre like cycling thing before they go anywhere near any weights, and it was like really weird. So they're like, they were on mountain bikes, right? But they were like doing a cyclocross style thing, which is like going in a loop on a grassy bit, and it was just like quite odd. But I think that's fine with CrossFitters because I think what they're trying to do is like just random mad exercises which you wouldn't normally do. I think that's the point of the CrossFit thing,
Like
is to
they're
do
trying to
stuff you
catch
wouldn't
them out.
normally do, and therefore that's your overall well-being and fitness because you're doing these bizarre.
Instead, and all the roids helps as well, probably.
It is not a clean sport.
It's definitely not a clean sport. But what is a clean sport?
Anavar was always told to me that it was what female CrossFitters take, and I was like, okay,
Yeah,
because they're all shredded. Have you seen like some of these female
They're
in the
incredible
CrossFit,
neck.
like they've got like muscle.
yeah.
Not that like a woman can get like that, but some of these are like
no, it's
huge,
help.
like-
It's help.
Definitely.
You know,
They've got like a turtle shell kind of belly, and like they're just
see, the turtle shell, like it was always traditionally thought that the turtle shell was due to HGH, but I think it's more insulin based, you know,
Yeah, it's
because it was like you always thought it was the HGH because obviously your organs grow.
So you mean when
therefore-
people's stomachs are swelling? Mm-hmm. Like
as their
when
guts
they're working.
grow. Does it mean your guts grow?
So HGH, what happens is that your heart and your lungs grow, right? But then your chest cavity can't grow. So therefore, what then happens is that then it distends, it's called, into your, you know, so therefore you'd get like a turtle tummy. But I think that it's more to do with insulin when they start using insulin. I don't know how that
But
works.
bodybuilders, do they use insulin?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If they're not clean.
But there's a kind of sort of a movement that's trying to get away from that image, and especially in bodybuilding.
yeah, like
there's-
Vicky and Guy in Perth,
trying to-
you know, they do that.
They're
whole
trying to go
clean-
no, but like within the sort of actual main bodybuilding, they're trying to move away from those like big distended bellies. It's now going back
Yeah.
towards.
the classic
tiny,
Arnold.
tiny
Arnold
waists.
is doing-
Yeah, like Arnie. I mean, Arnie wasn't clean either.
Of course, he wasn't.
No. No. But then,
He was smoking dibs at the end of the fucking.
is he?
Yeah, have you not seen
Fucking-
Pumping Iron?
Now, which one of the massive bodybuilders
Blue
is like in a wheelchair now? Is it Kai Green or somebody like that?
Fuck
There's
knows.
one of them. It's like totally his hips have gone.
He's weird though.
Kai
like-
Green was like alien,
Yeah.
like strange.
Yeah.
like,
I think you're talking about the guy that was before that, who was the powerlifter as well.
Right.
What's his name? Ronnie Coleman.
is he in a
Is it-
wheelchair?
Yeah, is it
Yeah.
Ronnie Coleman? Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is, he's like, I regret nothing. He's like, fucking toot toot, bring it on again. You know, he's like, he's the best at wheelchair now.
He was like lifting himself up the stairs by his like arms in a wheelchair.
Do you know my favourite motherfucker is? I love Juji Mufu. Do you know
he's
Juji-
brilliant.
How great is Juji Mufu?
I've got
He was-
so into him. Like
he
I
was
watch
training
all his
with-
videos on YouTube.
He was training with some CrossFit power lifter lassie.
So just to sort of reiterate, Ronnie Coleman will never walk again.
What?
And he's lost $2 million in 3 years.
That is an expensive set of tires. What the fuck?
Crazy, like
How come he lost the money?
he's
He's from-
54 years old.
Is it his hips?
I'll just have a little look.
On his
It's
knees.
in Gymnation.
His big swinging dick has just got too heavy.
Something like that.
He's banging test into his penis. It's weighed him down.
All right. So no, they were saying. I think after something that happened a couple of years ago, they were saying that, but now they were saying if he starts training again, it could leave him paralyzed.
But what is it?
Just being mental, I guess.
That's a diagnosis.
Surgeries and incessant training. So it's his raft of surgeries. He's probably his immune system's fucked. So he's not able to like keep anything off when he goes in for a surgery or is injured or is just training all the time.
Do you think it's affected his nervous system, or how can training and steroids affect your immune system though?
Because it taxes it.
Yeah, you run
Yeah.
down. You start to get ill when you're overtrained in that.
Yeah.
Really?
Did you not know this?
I do know that, but
You're
to the
always
point where
fucking got a
yeah,
sniffle.
sorry. Yeah, actually, yeah, touch wood, I've not had a sniffle recently, but yeah, how
code for
can you
something?
get to the point of how can you get to the point where you're in a fucking wheelchair and you can't lift a fucking bicep
But these
curl
dudes
because
are doing stupid shit.
Yeah.
They're not doing training like normal dudes train.
And he was known as one of the strongest bodybuilders ever. Because he was lifting like.
He's probably
houses.
still trying to hang with the young guys
Yeah.
as well. And
I mean, you're not supposed to look like that at 54. Like, after all that gear, like, give him all the gear, all the fucking no idea. Just training like a man.
Imagine their fucking bill for their gear. Like I've watched that. There was a guy in Jiu-Jitsu's YouTube channel called Larry Wheels.
Yeah.
And I was like,
He's going from bodybuilding to, was it strongman
yeah, he's doing
competitions?
that.
Yeah.
Because they were over at Thor, whatever his puss is called. Anyway,
Well, you seen he's paralyzed in one face and one side of his face.
yeah, he's got what's
what?
Yeah, the mountain, yeah.
Fucking hell, he's
had a
younger than me.
stroke. He had like some weird version of a stroke that left only just his face paralyzed on one side.
Yeah, it's called something.
Those
crazy.
guys aren't going to live long anyway, being that size anyway, are they?
Well, how mental is it going to look this guy lifting fucking
Go and show
weights?
this.
And he's
Straight
like,
on one side.
You should have a look at Thor standing next to his girlfriend. I swear to God, it is.
I don't want to
it's
see that.
brutal. Like, it actually scares me. You know, she is tiny, like absolutely tiny. He weighs over. I think he weighs something like 220 kilos.
That's fucking insane, man.
Yeah,
That's insane.
yeah. I'm sure he's 210, 220 kilos. That is a lot.
That's a lot to be carrying around.
It's a
your
lot to
whole
feed
life.
every day.
Yeah.
Well, I think the biggest issue with these people is it's not their natural body weight. There are some of these bodybuilders and strength competitors that
Some of those Vikings are big dudes,
naturally big. But what's his name? The Mountain. He was like a thin basketball player, but really tall. And he's
Yeah.
eventually put the weight on. Who like Eddie Hall as well. He's a smaller guy, and he put on like stupid amounts of weight, so he's able to lift fucking.
See, when he did that deadlift record and started bleeding from the nose halfway up the lift, that gives me the fear.
Did you see it?
Yeah.
Oh, that gives me the actual fear, along with his giant tummy.
That's crazy though. But like, who would have ever thought that that's the guy that would have deadlifted 500 pounds? Is it 500?
500 kilos, man. Aye.
That's half a ton.
Yeah.
Like,
They start bleeding out of their fucking skin. Their forehead starts bleeding just out of
Sweat,
out of
sweat.
explosion of the tension. It's fucking nuts.
I used to do that in the Ice Factory days. The techno was too much, along with other things.
but he's like taking his intake of food down. He's not competing in strength anymore.
No,
He's going back down to like physique
just
training.
go back to the 70 kilos.
He's a twink now. He's a power bottom.
Yeah. Have you ever seen the guys that like have had like rectal prolapse? When
Try not to Google it.
you should
No,
because
I
like
don't want to see
it
that.
tears through their unitard. You know?
That's like that should be like a fucking death metal album name. Tears from the unitard.
Stephen Lane, are you listening?
Tears from the unitard.
Rectal prolapse through my unitard.
Remember there was the band Anal Cunt. Do you
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
those guys?
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Quality.
Quality band. Seen them twice.
They consulted me before they chose their name.
It's named after me.
Yeah.
It's about an
But
OCD woman.
that Larry Wheels who was on Jiu-Jitsu, like I was like, check the chip of this guy. He is in good
Is this
chip.
Larry? Yeah.
Yeah, and he's strong. And then I was watching him, and he's like, yeah, you know, when I was a kid, and then, but he's like 22 or 23. I was like, holy shit! You know,
Yeah, he's a
steroids
big
does
lad.
not make you look young. Like steroids make you look fucking well older than you are.
Yeah, he's weathered, like for sure. Did you see when the world arm wrestling champion was on Juji, the Canadian guy? Can't remember his name.
Yeah.
He's fucking amazing, but he was doing all the strength challenges and basically they'll do what he does and then he'll try and do like their strength workouts as well.
So
just
they
to
were
see
getting
how
him
it
to
translates.
deadlift.
Yeah. And he was doing all like the grip sort of work, but he doesn't arm wrestle with the grip. He just uses his like sort of wrist and forearm, like he doesn't grab.
Yeah, so they use like different twists of the wrist to help manipulate the situation and then like I've watched it and they were saying like there's different muscle groupings in your arm, which is the twisting motion that they use.
Right.
So it's not just like bicep, tricep, shoulder. It's like, you know, the other motions in the arm that they train to do that.
Yeah.
Right?
His name's Devin Larratt.
Devin, yeah.
He's got the steakiest haircut ever as well.
He's got absolutely giant dildo fingers.
I mean,
tail,
if you had black hair, you'd be like, you're
Fuck
like
off.
exactly how I thought you would be if you're an arm wrestler and didn't wash your hair. Oh, wait a
says I'm
minute,
not?
you don't wash your hair.
I'll wrestle your arm anytime.
Do you use stuff? Anyway,
Nah,
because you don't put on deodorant, do you?
Nah.
I don't wear deodorant either.
Really?
Nah.
Why?
I shower like twice a day, so
I still stink and I shower.
Do you know?
twice a
Are you
day.
not more susceptible to ringworm when you shower all the time?
maybe, but you're probably even more susceptible to stuff like that if you don't shower.
Yeah, but you can start taking all the actual.
Oh yeah, like my
good-
skin is fucking constantly dry,
Yeah.
and I have to always moisturize it and that because 2 showers a day will fuck your skin up. But then I would rather be clean than just like.
Yeah, you got in the car and you smelled clean. I was like,
Even if I
could smell
touch
like
the
that.
mats, even if I touch the mats, I have a shower. I don't. If I'm not trained, even if I'm just teaching, I'll still have a shower after.
That's the experience of ringworm right there. Or
Have you had ringworm?
staff?
Once.
Sucks.
But I mean, when I got rid of it in like a week.
Do you know what happened to me once? This is the most idiotic thing ever, right? But a couple of years ago, I got the flu, right? And I ended up in hospital with the flu. So it was pretty bad. I actually lost a stone.
Shit.
Yeah, I would never got out of bed for a month. And after it, as I was recovering, right, my mate was like, "Oh, will you come and cycle the Strath Puffer?" And I was like, "Nah." And he's like, and the next day, "You come and do this race. We need to do it." So it's a 24-hour race in the snow in January up the north past Inverness, right? So anyway, the be all and end all is that I said eventually he harassed me so much. Cheers, Tom Simpson, that I went and did it, right? This 24-hour race with him in a team. It was minus 15 my last cycle. You do a loop, so we did it as a team. A year past January. So anyway, after it, so I just had the flu in December. I was in hospital for Christmas. So in January, did a 24-hour cycle race. Then after it, where my heart rate monitor goes, I had this like little rash. And I was like, fuck, I've got ringworm. So I did what everybody does when they get ringworms. Got some bleach. You just
hell.
bleached it, right? So I was like, that's sore. It didn't go away. So I was like, you know, I need
More bleach.
More bleach. So I got more bleach. So after like 3 or 4 days of bleaching it, and it wasn't going away, so fuck, I suppose I better go and see I hate going to the doctor. So I went to the doctor, and she was like, that's not ringworm. You've got shingles. And I was like, for fuck's sake. But then
bleach
was
in
it
her
Supposed to be
shingles.
painful as fuck.
Shingles are agony.
But what did I expect? I just spent a month in bed,
a
got out
symptom
of
of
bed,
being
and went and
old
did
as
this
well.
24-hour fucking cycle race in the snow. Of course I had shingles. Fucking Jesus Christ, what an idiot.
It's a symptom of being old as well.
Fuck you. I'll show you how old I
Isn't it
am.
like a form of chicken pox?
I had it when I was like early 20s. I had a band. It works in a band around your body. I had it around my chest.
I actually felt like I had a brown.
You feel like you're fucking dying.
Let's see, shingles. I
Yeah.
thought it was like a
So-
version
so-
of chicken pox.
So the
Yeah, it's
actual...
like an adult version.
yeah, so,
Herpes zoster.
yeah, so the
It's an
actual...
infection of a nerve and skin around it, and it's caused by the bacillus zoster virus.
I got these pills for it, right?
It's similar to chicken pox.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I got these pills for shingles. The doctor gave me them. He's like, "Oh, these are antidepressants, but they work to combat shingles." And I was like, "All right, cool." And I took them right with these wee blue pills, and I fucking was tripping.
Had the biggest
off
hard
my
on.
box. I was
You were tripping.
These guys, like, I was in my bed, right, and I was asleep. But if I opened my eyes, I could see my room, but there was guys off in the distance in my vision,
Right, okay.
like running towards me to like fucking kill me. And I remember being frozen. Like, I couldn't move, I couldn't scream, and I was fucking terrified. And when I finally got out of it, I just flushed the wall. I mean,
All right.
On with the shingles. Fuck your pills.
yeah,
That's crazy. They'd prescribe you what is considered antidepressants
yeah.
for shingles.
It was disgusting, man. I felt like shit.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
That's how I knew I had to go to hospital with the flu, because I started hallucinating.
Do you remember when I had ringworm? Do you remember that?
Hmm.
Because I had it on my face there, and it like spread. I didn't know what it was. And I'm pretty late when I go to.
You were on antibiotics, were you not? Or what were you
No, I
on?
can't remember.
It's fungal, so
Yeah. And I hadn't been training. I think I'd went back once or something, and I was using antibacterial soap, which is terrible for your skin. So my skin was like getting wiped, and I was really susceptible to getting ringworm actually. And then I didn't know what it was the first time I got it, and then I had like a little blemish on my cheek, and then it just like got bigger and bigger, and I thought it was because I was itching it. And then eventually when it was like here like this, I was like, I had to go to the doctor.
Oh, it sucks. Like
we have like really like strict hygiene rules at the gym, and
You have to, man.
everybody's informed. Like if you do get like athlete's foot or fungal nail or ringworm or that Lamisil cream is the only one. Like everybody, if you go to the doctors, they'll give you a caniston or something, and that'll get rid of it in like a
great for my
month.
thrush though. Yeah.
But Lamisil gets rid of it super quick.
Yeah.
And so we've just basically almost every like few months I go over and over the hygiene rules because there's new
You
people
actually
starting all the
have
time.
not only the cleanest gym, but the whitest gym ever. Every
Yeah.
time you're on social media, I'm like, look, they roll in heaven.
It's like the Mendes Bros. It's like their place. Have you ever seen it?
Ah, yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, I know. There's
The
a so
artwork
nice.
as well.
Yeah,
on
it's
the
beautiful,
walls.
man.
Man,
So
It
how
was
come
just
you
like a
chose white
very
mats?
amateur version of that.
it's still cool though.
Why did you choose white mats? What is it that you thought I like cleaning?
Well, I mean, maybe a few reasons. I wanted it was originally a jigsaw, square jigsaws. I didn't like the grooves because I'm just obsessed with hygiene. I don't like the grooves in between them.
Right, okay.
Understand?
So I decided to get like a big tarp. So it's made by the guys that make like the stuff for the side of lorries.
Right.
that
Okay.
material.
Yeah.
It's like zebra stuff, is it?
It's,
Yeah. It will be the same stuff.
it's
Vinyl.
I don't know, it's some kind of vinyl or whatever. And I just chose white, and it's transparency for the hygiene. You know, when you
Yeah.
come in and you
So
see
it's a
that the
pool of
mat's
blood
pristine.
or shit.
Yeah, seeing that the mat's pristine.
It makes sense.
It makes sense. And then also, again, wait, everybody talks about it on social media, how it looks good. It looks good. If I do a video of something like some people practicing in the gym, it looks better as well.
Instantly, like without trying, it just looks great.
Yeah, it looks awesome. Yeah. All the walls need redone in that, but
And people who have the mindset of, we'll get darker ones to hide if there's anything. It's
No,
like,
you'll see
that's
more.
not
I don't
what you
think
wanna
any
do.
jiu-jitsu gyms are like that nowadays. I think they're, everyone
It
I've
used to
been
be
in.
like that.
Man, we trained in some pretty funky places.
there's
Right?
whenever
I've trained in a barn.
there's a lot of places that I visit and I'm like freaked out by how like nasty the mats are. Like.
It's always when you're in the cage and you can see like when you're rolling around and you can see like
fluff.
a pube like, or something in the floor and you're like rolling around getting arm barred and you're like
The thing is though, mostly they're just leg hairs. Let's face it. How often do your leg hair get pulled out when you're rolling? All the time, and then you look at the ground. Look at all these pubes. They're just leg
I
hairs.
don't know. I think Craig
Unless-
Robertson's probably rolling around in his balls,
This dragon.
but he probably shaves his dragon, so
Yeah.
it's probably Belly.
Have you had your penis tattooed lately?
Not lately. I try not to. Why?
I know. It's a bit of an random.
Do you guys watch anything actually? Like in general, have you seen the new Michael Jackson documentary?
Yeah, I've seen that.
It's like how many parts is it? Two.
Two.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like
Yeah, it's like I don't know how people can still be defending them, but
I mean, a lot of people were like, I'm not going to watch it. You know, these guys were on the brink of having a shit career, so now they're trying to come out and make some money and whatever, and they've always done that. But when you hear them speak and when you listen to them, I don't think they think they're telling lies. Like I think, it just there's something.
he had a lot of
genuine
power
about it.
over them,
man. Yeah, like I mean, if you were molested as a kid, is your life not going to be fucked up no matter what you do anyway? Like, is that not a result of being molested? Is your career is just never going to work because of what happened to you?
Imagine being molested for like 7 years when you're a child, and then you get to the age of like 36, you finally get the courage to come out and tell people what this guy done, and that he's not who they think he are, and there's people saying that you're a fucking lying and you just want money. That's nuts to me.
And especially if someone convinces you that you're in love with them as well and that he loves you.
These kids were 7 years old.
They basically thought they were in a relationship.
He crafted them into what they are today, and they're broken men. Their lives have been destroyed.
Yeah.
It's on the parents as well. I guess it's on the parents.
Yes.
And it's on Michael Jackson's staff.
I mean, anybody allowing... Yeah, like I think one of the maids said that she saw something at one of the testimonies. And then she was sort of like, it didn't corroborate with one of the kids because he was paid off to say nothing, obviously. So her testimony was thrown aside, even though she was like, yeah, I walked in on all this stuff. It's pretty graphic, some of the stuff. I didn't think, because you hear that he might have been chemically castrated through all the drugs that he'd taken, or his dad had given him, so it's to do with his voice and all this nonsense. But it seems like he was, hypersexual for some reason,
Yeah, that motherfucker.
Fucking nutcase, man.
But the more time that passes from seeing from these things that were happening, like him always having a young boy around him at all times, like there was a new flavor every sort of however many months. But the more time that passes from that, and you look back on it, and you're like, oh fucking course that he was doing.
But then if you listen to like Macaulay Culkin's like, nah, you sound as fuck, he never did a thing. But let's face it, the whole fucking thing stinks. Like he was a fucking weird ass motherfucker. Like
he was a heroin addict, Macaulay Culkin.
Well, this is
does he
Macaulay.
come off as someone who's been paid off,
Yeah, this is what they use Macaulay Culkin as like a
we seen
defense
the
to Michael
documentary?
Jackson. Well, no, they say Macaulay Culkin says that he's sound and he's not done anything, but that's what these guys were saying up until they're what, are they 36 or some shit like that?
Something like that.
So like he might just be,
and that defense
he might just be
mechanism
at where they were at. Like he's
Yeah.
not ready to fucking admit what
I heard
happened.
that Barbara Streisand was like, no, everything's fine here.
How would she know?
well,
He wasn't into her.
I know,
He was into
but
young kids.
Well, she said something
What are
about
you looking at?
the internet.
It's not going to answer you when you're saying stuff.
But she said something. She said something this week, which was about people being molested isn't really I don't know. You have to Google that shit. That's why I'm looking at the internet. There was a prompt done. Not that I expected the computer to automatically fucking answer me.
I need a Jamie so that I can...
Young Jamie.
Yeah, I've
could you
got someone
please,
actually.
Google Barbara Streisand,
Young
Michael
Darren.
Jackson.
Was it...
There's video of Latoya saying that she loves Michael, but he's a paedophile, and that was in '93, I think.
And they'd fallen out as well, I think, about it. She was like, he needs to stop, having these kids over, and obviously he's done something. And where was it? She said this. It was like in like a Middle Eastern country or something. Was it?
I thought it was at an awards show that she's getting interviewed at. The one that I seen. I'm pretty sure she's been pretty outspoken about it.
So we're now going to pull that doctor out of jail and give him a fucking medal.
Which one?
The one that killed Michael Jackson.
That's another thing. You didn't fucking kill him. Like if Michael Jackson's asking you for drugs and you're his doctor, you're probably
Supply and
gonna
demand. Everyone thinks the drug dealers
somebody
are
would have gave
pushers.
him the drugs. Like you didn't kill him.
Yeah, everyone thinks the drug dealers are pushers. It's that they're making you take them. That's not how the real world works.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to buy that shit.
The whole thing was completely strange. You remember... what are you looking at? Do you remember when he did the Michael Bashir interview on Channel 4 years ago? And he said he'd never had like a nose job, and then eventually it was like came out just like I just had one nose job. Yeah, fucking right. And then his skin color change as well. These are all things that people just never ever talk
questioned.
about. Yeah,
But they're
but they said on his autopsy that he did have that. Is it in
impetigo.
but it doesn't evenly distribute like that, supposedly. Like it's in clumps that you get this white. It's like Joe Rogan's got his knuckles that are all sort of like more whiter than the rest. It's not like a uniform bleaching of the skin.
No.
Fuck
Weird
knows.
ass motherfucker.
I'm just glad he's fucking gone and the truth's out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Him and Jimmy are fucking having it.
I mean, before I watched it, I was like, if he'd done all this, then there'd be a bunch more people that would have came out afterwards. In the same sort of way with Jimmy Savile. When he died, that was the sort of the damn wall that broke. And then everyone came out and said, this is what happened. But after watching it, I was like, shit.
The thing is that people will still listen to his music, but they won't listen to Gary Glitter. It's a double standard.
There's people that put it on out of like sort of spite or even like resilience. Like they shove it on just to be like, oh, we're with you, you know. And then there's people that outright ban it, obviously.
I'm not. I had a few songs of his, which is weird because I've never been into Michael Jackson, but I just got into the Off the Wall album recently. before this documentary, and then I had to take them off the playlist because I was like, I just can't fucking listen to this right now. Like, knowing that the song's probably about a 7-year-old boy.
It's like
You know what I mean?
it's the R. Kelly
Fuck,
stuff.
I never
as
thought
well.
about that.
Yeah.
He's always been a creepy
I'm not in touch
fuck
with the
as
whole
well.
R. Kelly thing. I was never into his music. And
Well,
seems much more of an
Remixed
American
Ignition
thing.
is the only song I love, or did by his. You know, you can't. Something genius is genius when it comes to a song. You know, that doesn't represent them, and they don't represent it. If you get me.
The
But
best
at
thing
the same
ever
time,
is
he did these terrible things. You know.
the best thing ever is the weird Ali Yankovic trapped in the drive-thru stuff. That stuff is amazing.
Weird Al Yankovic's sort of parodies of Michael Jackson were always great. That I'm fat, is it? I'm fat.
Yeah,
That's brilliant. And the
It's-
camera's panning across, and they're all out of breath.
is it not?
Keep up with the camera.
Yeah, I eat it instead of beat it.
Yeah, that's it. Eat it. That's it. Yeah. So she said basically,
Mega Streisand.
she said something about like, can say molested, but those children, as you heard say, the grown-up Robson and Safe Chuck, they were thrilled to be there. This is what Streisand said in regards to those kids.
But then listen,
They
before
were
you're
both
fucked
married
by
and
a
they both
fucking...
have children, so it didn't kill them, is what she said.
I know, but
yeah,
before you're abused, if somebody takes you to Disneyland, you're going to be like, Disneyland's amazing. And then you get abused, you'd be like, not so amazing. Might have ruined my life. I mean, how do you recover from that?
I don't know.
They
It
haven't.
almost killed them, you know? I mean, it's pretty much just they're tortured people. And it constantly has affected every decision in their life. It won't be like just a case of, I see you later, you know, I was molested by Michael Jackson. It's like everything in their life is just overshadowed by that. And you can't like, I guess, like discern or abstract from it. Like these things, is this just me, or is this, you know, what has happened to me in my past? These are things that affect everyone.
Yeah, at that young age, they were shaped into loving him and getting jealous when he was hanging around with other.
I know,
children.
that was
Nuts,
crazy,
Got
that.
married to one of them, like a fake wedding.
Supposedly.
I think that whole Hollywood scene is pretty bizarre, though. You know, look at everything from Charlie Sheen to Madonna, even to, you know, some of the marriages that have happened, like Jessie J getting married to, what's his puss?
Who's she married to?
That guy.
She's a lesbian.
No, she married a famous Hollywood
Jessie J?
Channing Tatum.
She married to
Tatum.
Channing Tatum.
Is that?
I call him Tanning Tatum because that's what it looks like. It looks like he's saying that. Jessie J is not. Wait a minute. I thought she was a lesbian.
No.
She has a new shaped head. Oh, they're married. 6 hours ago, you're on the fucking ball with this. He's on the heartbeat.
Fucking hell.
I never expected that.
6 hours ago, they're reportedly getting married.
Somebody's been beaming that shit into my head. I'm not saying there's conspiracy theories, but right there.
Wait a minute, I'll see. I thought she was like.
The other weird thing is that she looks pretty much identical to his ex-wife.
They think maybe just by then. But who was he married to?
I don't know his previous wife's name.
Oh, she says her bisexuality was a phase.
That's like me. I used to be a mink, but it's just a phase.
No, you're still there, like
What, because I drink tannins? Or because I smell like shit?
tinky tea.
Stinky tea, thank you. I love my stinky tea. I don't often drink, but when I do, it's got to be tannins.
Have you seen well, Scott Malone's going to be fighting for the title on Cage Warriors soon against Jack Shore, and he's opening his own MMA gym in Perth now.
Yeah,
I think that's going to be
something about that, yeah.
Oh, no way.
That'd be good for you, I guess, maybe. But
Yeah, I don't know how it's going to work, but
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. When's he fighting for the title?
the 27th of this month, I think.
Oh, nice. So
Big, like it's huge.
That is big
wait,
for him.
what is
eh?
that not like? That's today
Of April, sorry.
of April.
Yeah.
He's a destroyer, though.
Yeah.
He's a hardy wee fucker, like. But he's technically, you know, and genetically, able as well.
Yeah.
It's not as if he's like me, who's like a high functioning idiot with shit genetics. He's got good genetics, you know.
Yeah, and he's like technical as well, but his beastness outweighs his technique as well.
And he
at
can
the
take a
same
head
time.
kick.
Yeah. Did you hear about that?
No.
Rory head kicked him in the face one day and never came to training again because he felt so bad.
That's not true. But
He retired on the spot. I'm sorry.
yeah, it was the knockout of the day. I knocked myself out with a head kick. No, but he's a gifted athlete, and you know he deserves what he gets. Like that's
It seems to be the thing that a lot of people do once they start to get a little bit success is build these gyms. You know, they're diversifying their portfolio, so to speak, and then they can live off that as well as other things in our life.
There's only one man here who's built his own gym. It's you.
I know it. I don't know how it would work if you're trying to do.
But you're doing it without the
if-
sort of back of being an MMA star. You're doing it through sheer just like
Yeah,
It's what you love.
Yeah.
but then that means I can dedicate the time to the gym. If I was trying to be like a
an athlete,
super
and-
high level athlete, I don't know how that would work out in terms
'Cause
of like balancing the work.
MMA fighters are extremely competitive, you know, and it's how does that translate well into teaching and having a gym and whatever?
Think about the workload that Scott is going to have on them, right? So he is a professional athlete. He is working a 9 to 5 job.
Yeah.
He has a family with kids and
Teaches
is
judo
opening,
as well.
opening a gym and teaches judo.
Yeah.
Where the fuck does that man find the time from? You know, like, man, the
jealous?
the thought
He's
of that
jealous?
actually makes me feel tired. I'd get to the cage, you'd be like, I'm just gonna have a wee snooze. I'm tired.
Makes
I've
you
done
seem
loads.
like you've got one bird, you've got one child, one shite car. He's
One
got like
job.
a billion.
Snoozing. Yeah. But
I feel like if I was to try and be at like, well, obviously I'm past it now, but like if I was to ever had
what,
to,
29?
I could never be a world champion though. Adult, I could never be an adult world
There's
champion.
people that
there's
come in at their
people that-
prime and at different.
No,
Like,
in jiu-jitsu.
oh, jiu-jitsu, yeah.
So the
Is there a difference? Sorry, just enter. Is there a difference in masters and the sort of?
there is a difference in between masters and adult. Like,
Is it? Are the people? Sorry, are the people better in masters or not necessarily, or is it just you're older?
masters,
Because it's after
Well,
what age is it, masters?
for example, an adult. There's adult blue belts right now that are 17,
Right.
but are at like a black belt level
Okay.
because of the time you have to spend at belts before you can be promoted. They're by the time they get to black belt, they're 20, 21,
Right.
and they're world class. They've been trained since they're 5. So blue belts nowadays, like you could have a blue belt that's just a local guy. He's been training like 3 years, gets his blue belt. But because these kids have been training since they were 5, they've always been almost ahead of their belts. And by
Yeah.
the time they get to blue belt, they're already at black belt level.
Shit.
And they've still got to get through purple.
Yeah, so
brown,
they're only going to
then
get
black.
better as well.
Yeah. Whereas masters, you're talking about guys that are 30 that are
Right.
black belts. So they could have been training their whole life, and they're just happened to be 30 at that point. And I just feel like that at 30, people are their lives are different. Like these jiu-jitsu guys that are 17, their entire
and
life
focused.
as training for them. That's what I'm saying about. I don't know how how Fair City Jiu-Jitsu would have been a success if I had to focus on myself, because you need to be super selfish. Like I've always been able to focus on my own progression, but I've never had to worry about like being the best in the division all the time, because if I had to do that, I feel like it's one or the other for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
If I was like to try and be like a UFC level type dude, I would need to just have that.
Yeah, just
And
that.
your passion for jiu-jitsu is obvious and it outweighs a lot of other, things in your life, I guess. But
It outweighs everything.
yeah.
We're 7 days a week just now, and I'm going full time now. So Friday is my last day at my work. And I'm
Shit. What do you do?
I work in a cafe in the town
No way.
just to supplement
Yeah.
money.
Do they pay their tax?
Nah.
Do you pay your tax?
Yeah, it does.
Yes.
But no, like so. I'm doing.
Sorry, I've got an illegal immigrant in my bedroom, so
So there's like 7, 8,
I'm joking.
maybe like 9 classes I've got just
Wow.
now, and I'm adding another, hopefully 4 in in like maybe a month's time or something.
Okay.
So we're going to be proper, like there's going to be, it's super available now. Like if you were in Perth, like you'd probably have a night that you're free to train.
Yeah.
I've made it like that. Whereas now it's
There's
going
a
to be
lot of
even more open.
Jiu-Jitsu gyms though, it's hard unless you're off on a specific night, it's hard to find some that are very like open all day, or they have other people teaching at other times.
Yeah, it's hard to not make a class at Fair City Jiu-Jitsu though, because of the timetable. And now because I'm adding even more, I'm going to be hopefully doing women's only, more kids classes, more daytime classes. There's going to be Nogi's only Fridays. But yeah,
That's when I've been.
so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, that I can only do that now, and I was working in the cafe and the gym for like 2.5. It's maybe like 2.5 years the gym's been going, and I've been working in the cafe like as well. So I've been doing 20 hours a week there, and then all my rest of my time's in the gym. Totally maxed out. So now I had to quit the work so I can put more time into the gym.
But you got that foundation there of what you've built up.
Exactly, it's built, but that took like 2.5 years to build that foundation where I could quit my job to feel safe.
Yeah.
And
How many people jump in feet first in those types of things and they just fall
I would
flat?
not have the testicles to do that. Like.
yeah, and it's been 2 years of like tough life, like living on the bones of my arse, not really being able to do too much like with my girlfriend. Like everything's really limited because I'm either having to teach classes or, you know, like.
So you've not been on any holidays?
I've been on holidays.
I've been on
holidays. I've been lucky enough to get holidays and that, like, because I've got guys that'll cover classes. And
But you
stuff
lived
like that.
in Spain for a bit, didn't you?
Yeah, before I moved, but I got my blue belt in Spain.
Because the last time you were on, I wanted to like have a little conversation about that, and generally because of how it relates to Scotland, and it was at
Catalonia.
Catalonia. You were over there at that time when they were sort of championing for independence.
Yeah,
Is
they're
that
always going for independence there. I was there actually when Scotland voted for independence. Well,
Or
voted
didn't.
against independence. Yeah.
Some of us did.
So
Did you vote against it?
No, I wanted to be separate from the rest of the UK.
same here. I done my vote by proxy because I was
But
always saying.
I
Oh,
wanted-
cool. How does that work?
I got my mum to go. My mum either had to go there. I think my mum had to
Wear a
turn up.
mask of you
Yeah.
on her head.
beard.
I'm Steve Donaghy.
She didn't have to. They've got the same beard.
Oi. That's a mum joke. He'll choke you out.
Yeah.
He's
I'm
been
fine with
training
it.
like over 20 hours a week.
I'm fine with that. I've been
Then he
choked
came in here.
before.
What are you going to do with CrossFit against him? Like, be more conditioned than him?
I'm not just going to take it like a man and go to sleep.
But living there was amazing. It's one of the best things I've ever done in my life, and that's
So
'cause
why
my
don't you
girlfriend-
live there now?
We moved back.
So is your partner Spanish?
Yeah. So we met in Scotland, and then we moved over to Spain, and we lived there for just about a year, and then we moved back. She went to university here. Finished her university here. She got her master's in Dundee, and that's when I started the gym. Like not straight away, but after that, I started the gym.
Did you? And is that what you wanted to do? Like, was
No.
that the thought?
I never wanted to be a teacher or that because I loved competing and I loved like my selfishness. But I had a class a couple times a week, and then I left the place that I was teaching a couple times a week to start Fair City Jiu-Jitsu. Because like when I left the place that I was teaching, I was like, oh shit, there's like, at that point there was only like maybe 12 people or something training there. I was like, oh shit, I can't just like leave these people with nothing, no jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Right, fuck it, let's just do it. And I just jumped into it. Just worked my arse off since then.
Crazy
It's
just
been
to see all
non-stop.
these like smaller places. I know Perth, a city, quote unquote, just to have these places spring up. I mean, when we started training, you know, you more so, you had to go up to Aberdeen to get any level of training. And I had to go to Dundee, wherever.
I trained in Glenrothes before I got into shooters, remember?
Urban disturbance, was
That
it?
was,
Do you not remember?
it was good training though.
Yeah, it was.
You know, as in like the conditioning was hard, and you know that was decent. That's what I needed at that point.
But you were going up there to Aberdeen though to train.
Both, yeah. I was driving to train. But then that's just what you do when when you're single and
Definitely
young.
didn't have a
You
girlfriend
can
at that point.
you can just train. You
Yeah.
can just you can be selfish, and it is selfish. And when you stop it, you've got to be it affects you, But then yours is just diverted into different things. It's sort of evolved, so to speak. So you went from that sort of selfish training where you're just focusing about competition, and what's actually happened is it's grown arms and legs and turned into something completely different. Now you've got Fair City Jiu Jitsu.
Do you compete much?
I competed about a month ago or something. I'm hoping to get back, but I've had a hip injury for a while. I've actually not been training. So I hurt my hip. As first injury I've had to take time off in like 3 years maybe.
What was it?
They think it's like the psoas muscle and my glute and like a hip strain or whatever. It's a bit of a mess, and I'm just trying to I keep coming back and training, and then it's sore again. So I need to try and find a pace to come back and
You should try some CrossFit for that.
hopefully I'll get back into it. But I had a competition there at a month ago, and it was just at purple belt. There's not that many guys kicking about in my weight or my age, so I got one match. I got moved up to under 70. I got one match and I won that.
What do you compete at? 60?
Under 64.
That's
But I've
crazy.
competed at under 50.
I've seen a few times that you generally go up as well. Sometimes if
I've been moved. I got moved up to 70 there.
how was that?
It was fine. It was actually all right.
Yeah.
But I did at international competitions. I've gone down to under 50, under 57.
So you dieted for that one?
Yeah.
Intermittent fasting.
Yeah, I done
Where
that.
you're
Is that what you do?
I done that before. I done that for this second or third time I done it. Yeah.
How do you do it?
I've just had a week off, but I've been doing quite a bit of intermittent fasting. I went to a stag do, and when I came back, I fasted for 21 hours on the Monday.
It's not a race, Rory.
And then, but no, I just felt like I needed to do
Yeah.
that, and I just sort of actually totally sorted my life out because I'd been drinking for 4 days, and then I just fasted, and it seemed to.
What's your sort of routine for it?
So I just do that 16-8.
So you
Yeah.
do
So you don't eat for 16 hours, and then you do eat for 8 hours.
a day, every day?
Yeah, every
Okay.
day. That's
And
right.
it coincides with when you're sleeping as well.
Yes, yeah, that's right. So it's actually pretty easy once
Yeah,
you
that's
get into it,
almost
it's-
that's almost just like skipping breakfast.
yeah, you do.
Moving breakfast.
So what time do you stop and start eating?
So if you finish eating at 8 or 9, then you can eat at 1 or 2 the next day. Do you
Right,
know what I'm
okay.
saying? So it's pretty easy. You know,
that
it's,
what the
and
same
then you're
as
just
what
missing
That's roughly what I was
breakfast.
doing as well.
And then if you just have a black coffee for breakfast, and then you're charged up on black coffee, and then you have another black coffee by 11.
Have you
Before
worked out when you've been fasting as well in the morning? So
Yeah.
does it not affect you in any way?
Initially, it does until your body sort of gets that. What do they call it? That fat burning process. It does fuck you.
Peptides?
So fucking, it's a hormone. Oh, let me think. So every fat cell has a hormone sensitive lipid in it, and that's like your light switch to burn the fat cell. So, and that's what, when they talk about fat adaptation, when you start to burn that fat instead of using the blood sugar in your body, that, so once you sort of get into that bit, so I've just come off for a week, so I'll probably just die 1,000 deaths when I go back. But it doesn't, so I wasn't cycling for ages because I fucked my collarbone, as I was saying earlier. But so because I wasn't cycling, I just went to fasting. And then, although I never really lost that much, actually I did lose. I lost 3 kilos, but I was about to say, although I didn't actually lose much, what I didn't do was I didn't put anything on. But I lost 3 kilos. That's a reasonable amount of weight to lose.
That's quite a bit, actually.
Yeah. So, actually, I weighed myself this morning, so I'm now at 3.5 kilos I've lost.
So what do you eat after you fast?
So the thing that I found is that, see, initially when I first started, I was only having 1,500 calories a day.
Right.
But what happens is your body just goes into lockdown. You have to actually have, for me, I had to have 2,500 calories. And once I started eating 2,500 calories, then the weight started coming off, which is a bizarre concept. You think that if you eat less, you would lose more weight, but your body seems to go into shock.
Stubborn mode where
Yeah.
it doesn't let anything go.
And I don't know if I was retaining more water or what I was doing, but then, as I started to eat more, the weight started really falling off, So it works for me, but it doesn't necessarily, so it works really well it works quite well when you're 'cause I was like deadlifting and stuff, so it actually works quite fine for that. You know, traditionally bodybuilders will tell you that, you know, that it really affects your strength. I didn't find it did affect my strength.
Yeah.
It was fine with that. It affects my endurance, so
Yeah.
I'm not able to keep on going after like an hour or whatever. I
Right,
start to feel a bit like dizzy and shit. But you know, but then we weren't that different when we were training at shooters, man.
No.
You know, like you're eating little and often, so you're getting a bit dizzy when you first start dieting.
Yeah.
And you do like one of Fenn's conditioning classes. You at the end of it, you're like fucking seeing fucking budgies going around your fucking head, man. You were away with it, like.
I passed out at training, like, what was it, just before Christmas? I think, did I mention this?
No.
So I was doing doing sort of loads of heavy weights and whatever. And I went on to the dip bar. For some reason, I had 40 kilos around me.
Yeah,
And I
on
was
the
doing
belt.
like 5. And I just sat up, and all I remember was being on the floor. And I was in the gym by myself, so I was like, thank fuck no one else saw me. But then there's a camera as well, so I was like, some guy's probably watching, like laughing. But I got up and I was just like, what the fuck happened? I don't know. But I'd been training pretty hard the whole day,
Yeah.
and then I went in later on.
So, you know, a lot of folk fucking, like my mate Liam, you know, he basically fucking laughed his ass off when I said I was intermittent fasting. You know, and sometimes with intermittent fasting, what people feel like is that after they finish their fast, they want to gorge, you know. But see, if you actually break your fast.
Break fast.
Yeah, if you break your fast properly, and you say, if you had something like Huel or, you know, actually for the first few weeks I was actually breaking my fast with salad, right? And that sounds fucking ridiculous, but what I meant was later on in the day I wasn't gorging, because when I was eating, I wasn't just eating that shit which gave me the sugar high and then dropped again. You know, even like bread and shit like that. If you have a
Just be
sandwich after you
sensible
break
with
your
what you
fast,
break it with.
you will gorge later on. That's
Right,
a
okay.
fact. Like, you've got to still, you know, I think you can have a reasonably normal meal in the evening. You
Right.
can have a big meal, because you need to get fucking 2,500 calories in you. So you're trying to fit in 2,500 calories in an
Fuck
8 hour
knows how you
window.
do it, like.
It's fucking hard work.
Did a lot of cooking then.
Yeah, you have to do a bit of cooking, like, but I'm pretty fucking lazy.
What about your diet? Is it like pretty similar?
My diet's all right. I intermittent fast. Like, it's something that I don't even think about anymore. I eat like maybe 12 o'clock to 2 o'clock each day.
Right.
It's like a lot of fats, peanut butter.
Clean. You eat clean a lot.
Clean to an extent. Like, I drink milk in that. I don't know if milk's that clean.
Nah. I don't like it personally, but it's less.
Well, it's included in that shit where you don't drink your carbs, so therefore you're not supposed to drink milk because you're drinking your carbs.
Oh no, I don't do like zero low carb or that.
Right.
No, you don't have to if you're intermittent fast. You
No.
can be a bit more relaxed with the
Milk,
carbs. Like,
milk gives me the bulk. Like, just when I think about drinking it, it's like,
let's give him a cow's tit a hand job.
For me, it's just about getting those calories in, though. You know, because I'm
Yeah.
so active as well. I've been going like climbing a lot in that recently as well. So I've been burning a shit with the calories. So I have to try and get that in. And milk is like pretty good for the calories. Like,
how do you find climbing? Something that was.
is climbing something I'd done before I got into Jiu Jitsu, and then I got back into it recently. Just trying to balance my back out. Like, I've got my sports therapist was telling me I went lift weights to try and kind of
Who is your
balance
sports therapist?
a girl called Rana Marathon.
Ran a marathon.
That is a real name.
Is that
I don't
real
think
name?
that's a real name.
Oh.
No.
All right, okay.
But she told me to do some weights and that to balance out the muscles, and I was like, nah, fuck lifting weights. Like, so I decided to go climbing again. I'm really enjoying it. It's really balancing my body out. I feel great. It's like takes my mind off jiu-jitsu for a couple of hours now and again, and it helps my grip strength. So
I think after that, watching that Free Solo documentary, I think everyone wants to rock
Is
climb.
that
now.
Alex Honnold?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not. There was another one called The Dawn Wall, which has got the guy who helped Alex in it, and I thought it was a better documentary. Have you watched it?
yeah, I've seen that
It's
one.
the
Yeah,
one where he's the first to go up the Dawn Wall.
yeah.
It's never
Is that a
been done.
part of El Capitan?
Yeah, it's the one that's never been done
I've
before.
not even watched that. You guys have talked about Michael Jackson. Never watched that. Never watched that Maddie shit. Never watched no fucking Alex fucking
The Maddie one was crazy as well.
Honnold. fucking.
Handholds, sausage fingers. But it was a good documentary. Don't get me wrong. The free soloing bit was the bit where it's like, but the actual documentary I didn't find that great. But the Dawnwall one to me is a lot better.
Is it a National Geographic documentary? Or is it just
Free Solo was.
Yeah.
yeah?
Donwell was an independent guy. I think it's probably the same. Sender Films or something.
Yeah.
Guy who makes a lot of climbing films.
It's like an Asian guy, isn't it? Like an American Asian
yeah,
guy that's
yeah.
the director. He won an Oscar for it as well.
Donwell's good because it has a lot of climbing in it. It has other stories in it, and then it has
He's had like a
the
fucking
journey
crazy
itself.
life as well. That guy.
Yeah.
This climber was like kidnapped in, was it Kurdistan? By these like rebel Muslim fighters. And then he ended up having to push this guy off a cliff because they were all like, there was one fighter left and there was 4 of them in the group, the Americans, and they were climbing up this face, and they were all used to climbing, obviously, so they felt at ease being up there, but they could see the guy that was keeping them prisoner wasn't that great up there, so they were like,
Fuck
if we're
it.
going to get out of here, someone's going to have to do something. So he pushes this guy over the cliff at nighttime and just sees him sailing over the cliff, and is like, just a complete grief and trauma that affects him through his life because of it. And climbing takes over.
But then he saved 3 other people's lives.
True.
It's a difficult thing to do, you know. Like,
Oh yeah, it was like such a moral quandary when I was watching it. I was like, holy shit, how would you really feel? I mean, I know you would probably like, this is Sparta, the guy.
I'm like, well, let's go train. I'll spew on you.
Spear him and kick him.
Just like bite his jugular out and then not eat it because I'm a vegetarian. But yeah,
And fasting. And it's not.
I probably like, to be honest, like, you know,
But he also, sorry, just to like continue with the story, he also loses a finger as well. And in the climbing world, that, especially your index finger, that's the one that everyone needs to hook on. And your thumb and your is it your thumb?
Yeah, you
your-
put your thumb over your index finger
Yeah.
for like small holds.
So that's the one that people need, and he lost it.
And got better after
no
it.
crimping for him, eh?
Yeah, got better after
Got
it.
better after it.
I know, but like, see, it's just about that mindset.
Yeah.
Like, think about that. I don't know about that fucker in 127 hours, but I bet that fucker's still doing crazy shit one-handed.
Yeah.
I bet he's still climbing and stuff,
And that was tough.
or
to
whatever it
watch.
is that he did. I've
Oh.
never watched it either. Another thing I've not watched, but no, you're right. I think I probably would have killed that motherfucker
Yeah.
that was holding everybody hostage, but don't think I would have beaten myself up about it for the rest of my life, you know. But
I think Tommy was maybe like 17 or something at that point.
That's
though.
young.
He
And
was a young guy. Like,
Girlfriend at the time that was in the group as well.
well,
that's one thing I didn't like about Free Solo is the guy's girlfriend.
She was the one that frustrated me so
Fucking
much.
drops him.
I couldn't watch it because of her, because she frustrated the hell out of me.
I hate seeing people get in the way of other people's like genius. So frustrating. That's again, me and Rory were talking about how I lack empathy on the way down, and that's one thing I hate. Is like just
What
like
sparked that conversation? Did you see
but
someone
we were
get
trying to
run over?
diagnose me with autism. But
Asperger's?
and I gave him the Rory diagnosis that he knows how to shake somebody's hand, so therefore he isn't that autistic.
Oh yeah, can you look people in the eye? That's the big
I
one.
can, and I can shake somebody's hand, so apparently I'm all good.
But
But yeah, his girlfriend was the thing that frustrated me so fucking much. Just because he's a bit sort of
yeah, but if you think about
a
it,
bit childlike when
Can I
it
just
comes
say
to
this?
relationships, because he's not really had any leading up to this, really. That, and he's always just his climbing's taken over.
is he
everything.
punching?
With her?
Nah, he's a really nice
Yeah.
guy.
He's like a Mormon, but without the religion. He doesn't drink. He eats like
He's a monk,
he's a monk,
He's basically you.
more humble than me.
and he has big fat sausage.
You feel
fingers.
sorry for people.
He's more of a success than me.
It is
So-
definitely autistic.
You know, behind every skeleton on Mount Everest, there's a highly motivated person. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, so she was maybe just trying to protect them.
But she
Oh
can't-
yeah, no, she is, but also like
feels fake though. Like she's trying to change him. I think.
Yeah.
You know how most girls get with a successful person, and they think, "Oh, but he'll change for me," type mentality.
Yeah.
And it kind of feels like that.
My mate Gordon said that he was at like the premiere and he's just like, yeah, this is. Oh no, it wasn't. It was at the Oscars or some shit or whatever that
Yeah.
fancy award thing is, and he's just like, yeah, this is for you guys. I'm a bit hungry. Been climbing today, you know? And they're like, how do you feel about this? He's like, yeah, it just, yeah, looking awkward in the suit.
Was that a CT scan he went in, and they showed that he just lacked the part of like fear in his mind? Was that the bit that
his
controlled
amygdala
it? Yeah.
didn't light up when other people's does. So he's not as scared. Nothing. Things don't arouse him as much as other.
So he doesn't. He's not a thrill
I think
seeker.
you can
he's just
condition
not-
that, by the way. I just want to say that right
really?
now. definitely.
You probably got some of that
I
though.
definitely do not feel. I feel like on the bike, like I don't feel fear what other people would fear. But then there's some things that bother me on the bike, but not everything really.
But being on a bike is kind of different from being without ropes up a mountain.
But what they're doing is the test is actually nothing to do with climbing. It's just like they're
Really
showing
is.
pictures of like somebody like with a knife, somebody a car crash, and then a plane going down. Or
So I'll give you an example of that. When you first started sparring,
Yes.
right? Not jiu-jitsu sparring, because you guys call it sparring. So when I first went to
Rolling.
your club years ago, they were like, somebody was on about sparring. I was like, do they punch each other? Fuck yeah, man.
Everybody's getting his
Everybody's
gloves
rolling.
on.
I was like, this is sparring? But no,
Got gloves and gi on.
no, but so when you first ever get punched in the face in a sparring thing, you know, like your adrenaline is so high that you're probably bleeding through the forehead because you've sweated so much. You're absolutely exhilarated. Your adrenaline is through the roof, like you're like a used Johnny. And then, but fast forward 2 or 3 years time, you're sparring. You're like, okay,
Yeah.
this is it. You know, so you can condition that sort of level of fear. You know, look at racing drivers. I bet they'd be similar. You know, whereas if you went into their car, you'd fucking shit your pants. You know, obviously you did today. And
this is like
the
another
beast
level.
off the Rimster. You know, so fast.
took some of those roundabouts.
But I think you can condition that level of fear, and it's maybe not something. I don't think that's biological. I think that's something that we have the ability to. I was a very scaredy cat young person, and as an adult, I'm just like, if somebody had a fight right now in front of me, unless they pulled out like a knife, I would just be like, meh.
Okay, so moral of the story is you think you're Alex Honnold.
No, I just think that he had the ability to tune that out of his brain.
Yeah.
He's done that to himself. Everybody is born. It's like that nature
Sorry,
nurture
I'm
thing.
going to go to the bathroom.
So say if you're a fucking deer,
Keep going.
if you're a fucking wild deer, right? You shit your pants at everything. But if you're a deer in a zoo, you don't give a fuck about anything. You know?
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
I know what you mean. And that's what he says. He says maybe his amygdala is just tired after being so, he says, gripped, I think. Like he's constantly he's constantly putting himself in such dangerous situations that it becomes
Yeah, worn
normality.
out, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know, is that not the case, like, where that's why he then starts to go further, deeper, harder, higher, more dangerous, because maybe he's actually looking for that hit. Maybe that's like...
For sure, because in the film they look back at all the people in Yosemite that have been free solo climbing, and they're all dead. They're
No
all
way.
dead. Yeah. There's none of them like big successful solo climbers are alive. None of them.
That's mad.
Yeah, I know. And then the thing, because I remember years ago when I was into climbing, Alex was saying, I free solo, but I free solo stuff that I feel is safe and easy. But now that's not really the case. He's doing proper super hard shit.
That's fucked.
So, you know, it would be absolutely terrible to see Alex die, but statistically,
It's going to happen.
it's going to happen. Like, I don't know, like what?
The only thing I know about was that it was El Capitan that he climbed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing I know about El Capitan is that I was in Edinburgh once, here, and I think I was waiting for a tattoo with Jason Corbett, and what happened was that I was obviously had an appointment, and I went into an art gallery, obviously by mistake because I'm a mink, but and then it was a photographer, and it was over like 3 or 4 floors, and his name was Ansel Adams, but he sort of specialised in, is it Yosemite?
Yeah, Yosemite
Yeah.
Valleys.
And it's like black and white, but I tell you what, you should go and have a look at his photos, man. That is like fucking outstanding. Of course, I was just like total mink face from Perth and Edinburgh, swagged into this place. I was just like, holy fuck. But he had quite a few famous photos of El Capitan, you know, and it's not until you see the size of the trees in the photo you realise how fucking monumental that cliff face is.
so hard to fathom how big it is.
Because most people take like 1 or 2 days to climb it. Is that
Depends
right?
on what bit you're on, and it depends on what style you're climbing it. But Alex, I think, took under 3 hours to free solo freerider.
Holy shit.
But Donwell was such a hard route that took, what, 14 days or something?
14 days. 17 maybe.
14 days with gear. But Alex is just obviously free soloing, so he doesn't have to worry about anything like that. They just
so
raced
So
up
what's
the
the little like makeshift camp beds they have up the face there? It was amazing.
they're called Madness, pure madness. Fuck.
What are they
that.
called again? Like the sort of
shit, I can't
where it's like
remember
a
what
little
they're
point
called.
on the
Yeah,
wall, and then they have like
yeah.
it's like a little tent on the
Can't
side.
remember
It's
what they call that.
amazing though.
You just came up with a porn that doesn't exist. That
I think we've just come full circle, so we should end on that anyway.
that doesn't exist.
So
No way.
Thank you guys for coming on. Is there anything you want to sort of promote? Just your gym, I guess, maybe.
Yeah, my gym. City Jiu Jitsu. Just have a wee Google of that.
Anyway, thanks for coming on to the new 2.